You thought we were done. I thought we were done, but we're back. I realize I should probably talk about our current projects. I will update this in the future as our projects shift or change direction. Let's start off by talking about the two things that we're focused on mainly. The first is the Community Bible, which is focused on community small group participation. And then the other is the Bible Canvas, which is focused on biblical authorship. The current slogan for the Bible Canvas we're thinking about is see and share the art of the word. If you have a better slogan, let me know once you know what it is. If you have a slogan for the Community Bible, let me know, or a tagline. I don't got one, so your input would be great. If we open up the API, I just want us to remember that everything we're making is utilizing this API, and we will improve and add more content to this API in the future. We will add more translations from Fetch.Bible. We don't have them in yet, but we will. And as we use the API and improve upon it, everything else we're doing will get that much better. So let's start with the Community Bible, actually, because that's going to be an easy entry point. I'm going to open up the Community Bible in a new tab, and as always, let's just pretend that this browser on the left is one person, this browser on the right is another person. And here you can see we have shared presence. If I click on verse 3, it's highlighted over here. Oh, let me turn the, in the settings I turned that verse and heading, verse numbers and headings off, which is a fun feature if you want to just read the Bible naturally. I'm going to turn them back on so we can see these. Over here, I'll click in Matthew chapter 1, verse 13, and I can see it's highlighted over here. I can add questions or notes. I'm just going to put some text there. I can do other stuff as well. I could follow someone if this user is in, let's just say I'm in Deuteronomy 21. I can open up this book selection and I can see, oh, hey, someone's hanging out in Deuteronomy. And if I want to, I can even follow someone. I can just click on this and suddenly I'm following them through the Bible. This is very helpful if I wanted to lead a group passage by passage through the scriptures, or if I wanted to do some kind of coordinated group activity like lead a group through a journey, ask them questions, maybe do a survey, any kind of 2D interactive content. All of that could find a home here. So if you can think of any 2D content that can be made with JSX, with Preact, with HTML and CSS, that kind of content could be really transformative. And there's no use case, or there's no technology out here that solves the use case that I'm aware of small group interaction and interactivity. So if you want to draw any inspiration from Jackbox.TV games, or any kind of Bible study that you've seen happen, any natural interaction that happens face-to-face, we can replicate or create digital tools that can smooth the use of that virtually for remote Bible studies, but also obviously in person for in-person community. So there are lots of ways we could do this. We could even add emojis and reactions in here. That if we were to do that, I would recommend that we do that very transitory in the sense that they would just appear and then disappear. You don't want to just have the Bible cluttered up with all of those, or so I imagine. But there's a lot of this is a dark. I just realized what we're looking at over here. Cursed is anyone hung on a tree. Deuteronomy 21, not for the faint of heart. But there's a lot of opportunity for content here, and a lot of ways we could facilitate group interaction and group interactivity. So would love to have your thoughts. I don't know how many people can be in the experience without breaking it. I don't know what the upper limit of users is. So we'd have to experiment with that to find out, but I would imagine this would work best in groups of 3, 5, 10, maybe 12 at the most. I don't know. We'll have to play with it. But there's a lot that can be done there. So if you have ideas, let us know. And we also have the Bible Canvas. This is going to be more of a 3D Bible experience where we can author and create new content. This here is what we're going to call a tray. And again, this is just a prototype. This is going to change. But I can click on something. Let's just do John chapter 1, verse 1. And that's going to load. That's going to load the words here as individual game objects and bots. So I can pull them off the page. I could pull up the map and I could look at the world and see like the geography of a region or of a place perhaps if we built that content. I can pull out multiple trays. So I can just click this little tool and then say I want to drop a tray right here and then put a tray there. and I can bring out a different passage of scripture over here if I wanted to. All sorts of things that we can do. And we can also add something called landmarks. Now, we're going to add more features, but for now, this is the core use case: trays, landmarks, and then the ability to erase as well. If I want to add an eraser and erase content as I go, that's something we can do as well. But let's talk about a landmark. A landmark is going to be associated with a verse or a chapter for now, and this is just a prototype. But imagine you click on a verse, and then over here on the side, there's like this little platform that doesn't exist right now. This icon is just a stand-in. But there'll be a little platform over here that then you can hop into a new experience of some kind. And that could be just about anything. It could be a game. It could be an interactive infographic. It could be something to teach you about the region, the geography, archaeology, church history. It could be a quiz. It could be trivia. It could be a group experience. It could be a museum exhibit. It could be a diorama. There's so many things this could be. It could even be, a interactive music experience where you're following the words. There's so much stuff. It could be a platformer. You could do anything. You could take the words off this page of the Bible and turn them into a platformer that you jump from word to word, and the Bible reads itself to you as you jump across a level of platforming. You could do anything you can imagine. You could probably do some version of it with careful iteration and practice. So there really is almost no limit to the kind of content that could be made. We just always have to remember the sliding scale of how good does it need to look and how much data needs to be in a scene versus how slow are we okay with it loading, because you have to balance the loading times with how complicated what you're making is. Always engineering trade-offs, as it were, but it can be done. So right now, the best thing we could do is, if you have a skill, then hop into the task opportunities and help make 2D content. If you want to help with any of these specific tasks, you can do that. But if you can just think of any kind of landmark experience that could go along with a verse or a chapter or even a book, that could be just about anything, that's a great place to start. Even if you want to just prototype something, if you're not sure if it's going to be good, that's okay. Hop into the Discord community, and you'll have a home there, and there's lots of friendly people that are happy to help orient you, at least point you in the right direction. Maybe you won't get all your questions answered depending upon how new or fresh you are, but happy to do as much as we can to help you along the journey. The other thing we can do with these landmarks, and we'll have to figure out the right way to do it, is we can also just make this isn't going to be the final product here, but here we have like a little portal where we'll have to figure out how we're going to include this kind of functionality. But basically, you can just drag an object and put it into the portal and then take it out. So in some cases, you might want to go into a new dimension to have some experience and then come back and be where you were. That's how the typical landmark will function. But we will have some other kinds of landmarks where you can just put something here, open that up, take an object out, do something with it, close that experience, and continue where you were. And don't forget, this is going to be a community experience, so I can open this in a new tab, and this is going to look a little bit weird because I know we have some bugs here since this is just the prototype, but it will work in theory. So here, if I zoom out, here we have some words right over here. Let me orient myself. I think I'm over here right now. Yes. So this is a key feature of the Bible Canvas, and we may change this in the future as we learn more what users find natural and find engaging. But for now, the way this is designed to work is that you can look at the same canvas and see different content. So here, this is the same area. I can make this little bot right here to show that I can drag it around and we can see it move in the other area. And the reason for that is that anything you're looking at that is on this tray, we're calling this black thing here a tray, anything that's on this tray is something that only you can see. Anything you drag off of the tray is something someone else can see. Everyone can see, in fact. So if I drag this off, then suddenly it appears over here. And now that means I can be looking at 1 Kings if I'm one user, and reading some portion of the Bible and experiencing that. And over here, another user can be looking at the exact same view of the canvas, and they could be in Jonah, and they might say, oh, hey, look at this. And they might pull something off the canvas and then hop into an experience. And then someone else is in that same canvas could go, oh, that's cool. Let me hop into that experience as well. So the goal is to really facilitate personal and communal views of data and of context at the same time in a way that's natural. And I think the paradigm of only you can see the tray, only you can see what's on the tray, but everyone else can see what's off the tray is going to be a good vehicle to accomplish that use case. So that's the Bible Canvas. We're going to do a lot more with it in the future. If you want to look at our roadmap, you can see planned features and tools and stuff up here. A lot of these things won't make sense unless you know what these sticky notes mean, but there's a lot of planned improvements, so if you have questions, let me know. In general, the best way to help is if you have any kind of 3D interactive experience, help make a landmark. Imagine what a little Super Mario 3D World type level could be. It could be small, it can be very simple, it does not have to be fancy, it can be a simple object lesson, it can be a simple game of hide and seek with the Bible verse, it could be anything you can imagine. Think about a landmark experience and think about prototyping that. If you have 2D aptitude, make something with JSX, Preact, React, JSX, Preact, HTML, CSS, that sort of stuff. Prototype a quiz, a survey, anything along those lines. And check out the task opportunities because that's where you'll find the most relevant and the most up-to-date information as to what's most needed right now. So with that, thank you for sticking with it. God bless you. And I just pray that the Bible Canvas and the Community Bible can be projects that bless you and the church. And this is something that we can all use together because don't forget, these projects are 100% open source and free use. And any ministry can utilize these to contextualize what they're doing in fresh ways. Or at least that's the hope. Thank you and God bless.